Breaking free from codependency, a journey to self-discovery. In the discipline of psychotherapy, the concept of codependence has been a subject of both fascination and contention, particularly when applied to interpersonal relationships. Often characterized by patterns of excessive caretaking, emotional reliance, and blurred boundaries, codependence has traditionally been viewed through a lens of dysfunction and pathology. However, amidst the discourse surrounding codependence lies a complex tapestry of interpersonal dynamics that defy simplistic categorization. Consider the case of Sarah and James, a couple seeking therapy to address recurring conflicts and communication breakdowns in their relationship. Sarah, a compassionate and nurturing individual, often finds herself prioritizing James's needs and emotions above her own. Meanwhile, James, while appreciative of Sarah's support, struggles with expressing vulnerability and maintaining autonomy within the relationship. From an outsider's perspective, their dynamic might be labeled as codependent, with Sarah cast as the enabler and James as the dependent partner. Yet, beneath the surface of their interactions lie important psychological dynamics that warrant a closer examination before hastily pathologizing their relationship as a whole. While Sarah's caretaking tendencies may seem to exhibit elements of codependence, they also stem from genuine concern and a desire to foster intimacy and connection with James. Similarly, James's reluctance to fully engage emotionally may be rooted in past experiences of vulnerability and a fear of being cut off and discarded, rather than mere dependency on Sarah for validation. In this introductory exploration, we investigate the complexities of interpersonal dynamics, challenging the notion that codependence is a one-size-fits-all label that can be indiscriminately applied to all forms of relational interaction. By contextualizing Sarah and James's relationship within the broader landscape of attachment data, interpersonal neurobiology, evolutionary theory, and sociocultural influences, we uncover the nuanced interplay of factors that characterize their relational patterns. Through a more holistic and contextualized understanding of interpersonal dynamics, we can begin to appreciate the multifaceted nature of codependence and its role in shaping human relationships. Rather than pathologizing behaviors that may serve important psychological functions within the context of a healthy relationship, we advocate for a nuanced approach that recognizes the adaptive significance of relational patterns while also addressing areas of potential growth and transformation. As we embark on this journey of exploration, we invite viewers to challenge conventional notions of codependence and embrace a more nuanced understanding of relational dynamics that honors the complexity of human experience. In doing so, we open ourselves to new possibilities for healing, growth, and authentic connection within the context of psychotherapeutic practice. The concept of codependence has long been a staple in psychotherapy, particularly in the realm of addiction and dysfunctional relationships. However, its usage suffers from a multiplicity of meanings, lack of a universally agreed-upon definition, and consequent limited usefulness. This video critically examines the problems associated with the concept of codependence and proposes strategies for operational definition to enhance its pragmatic value in psychotherapy. By elucidating its core elements and clarifying its boundaries, therapists can effectively identify and address codependent behaviors, fostering more meaningful therapeutic interventions. Codependence, as a term and concept, has permeated the field of psychotherapy for decades, shaping our understanding of interpersonal dynamics and dysfunctional relationships. Initially coined in the context of addiction, the concept has since evolved to encompass a broader range of behaviors and patterns. However, its nebulous nature, characterized by a lack of consensus on definition and scope, poses significant challenges to its utility in clinical practice. This video explores the complexities surrounding the concept of codependence, examines its limitations, and proposes strategies for operational definition to enhance its effectiveness as a therapeutic tool. One of the primary challenges associated with codependence lies in its multiplicity of meanings. Over time, the term has been used to describe a wide array of behaviors and dynamics, ranging from excessive caretaking and enmeshment to emotional manipulation and boundary violations. This semantic ambiguity not only confounds communication among therapists but also hinders accurate assessment and diagnosis. Furthermore, the concept of codependence has expanded beyond its original context of addiction to encompass various forms of dysfunctional relationships, including those characterized by emotional dependency, control issues, and intimacy deficits. As a result, the term has become increasingly diffuse, encompassing a broad spectrum of interpersonal patterns that defy easy categorization. Compounding the issue of multiplicity is the absence of a universally agreed-upon definition of codependence within psychotherapy. Different schools of thought and theoretical orientations offer divergent interpretations of the concept, further complicating efforts to establish a cohesive framework for understanding and addressing codependent behaviors. Some clinicians conceptualize codependence as a pattern of excessive reliance on others for validation and self-worth, often accompanied by a pervasive fear of abandonment and an inability to assert one's desires. Others emphasize the role of dysfunctional family dynamics and intergenerational trauma in perpetuating codependent patterns, viewing it as a learned behavior passed down through generations. Given its lack of definitional clarity and semantic imprecision, the concept of codependence offers limited utility in psychotherapeutic practice. Without a clear understanding of what constitutes codependent behavior, therapists may struggle to differentiate between healthy interdependence and pathological dependency, leading to misdiagnosis and inappropriate interventions. Moreover, the pejorative connotations associated with the term codependence can inadvertently pathologize normative aspects of human relationships, undermining the therapeutic alliance and fostering shame and attributions of inadequacy in clients. As such, the indiscriminate application of the label codependent risks stigmatizing individuals and overlooking the complex contextual factors that contribute to their relational dynamics. To address the inherent limitations of the concept of codependence, it is imperative to develop an operational definition that clarifies its core components and delineates its boundaries. An operational definition should be grounded in empirical research and clinical observation, drawing upon insights from attachment theories, interpersonal neurobiology, and family systems theory to inform its conceptualization. However, even some of these theories may be too phenomenological in nature to lack the precision necessary in an effective operational definition. For example, attachment theory, while offering valuable insights into relational dynamics, may indeed be considered more phenomenological in its approach compared to research methodologies such as those employed in the Kaiser Permanente studies and by the CDC. The data derived from epidemiological studies and empirical research conducted by organizations like the CDC and Kaiser Permanente provide foundational evidence that is rooted in rigorous scientific inquiry and often spans large populations or uses longitudinal designs. These studies offer valuable empirical evidence that can inform the development of operational definitions of codependence and contribute to a more comprehensive understanding of its etiology and impact on individuals and communities. One theory often neglected and which may be potentially valuable in developing an operational definition of codependency is evolutionary theory. Evolutionary theory offers a unique lens through which to understand codependency by examining the adaptive significance of relational behaviors in the context of human evolution. From an evolutionary perspective, behaviors and traits that contribute to survival and reproductive success are more likely to be preserved over time through natural selection. In the case of codependency, evolutionary theory suggests that certain relational dynamics and behaviors may have emerged as adaptive responses to environmental pressures and social challenges faced by our ancestors. For example, humans are social creatures, and our survival has historically depended on cooperative efforts and mutually beneficial relationships within social groups. An operational definition of codependency grounded in evolutionary theory might consider the following empirical insights. Interdependence and cooperation. Evolutionary theory highlights the importance of cooperation and mutual assistance in human evolution. Research could explore how individuals' tendencies to rely on others for emotional support, validation, where resources have evolved as adaptive strategies for enhancing survival and reproductive success. Attachment and bonding mechanisms. Evolutionary psychology posits that attachment and bonding mechanisms have evolved to promote caregiving, protection, and the formation of social bonds. Empirical studies could investigate how codependent behaviors are influenced by innate attachment systems and the need for social affiliation and security. Mate selection and pair bonding. Evolutionary theory also emphasizes the role of mate selection and pair bonding in human relationships. Research could examine how codependent patterns may arise as individuals seek out partners who fulfill certain emotional or practical needs, thereby fostering mutual interdependence and cooperation within dyadic relationships. Parental investment and offspring survival. Codependency may also be influenced by evolutionary pressures related to parental investment and offspring survival. Studies could explore how caregiving behaviors and familial relationships contribute to the development of codependent patterns and attachment dynamics across generations. By empirically grounding an operational definition of codependency in evolutionary theory, researchers can elucidate the adaptive functions and underlying mechanisms of codependent behaviors, shedding light on the evolutionary origins and ecological validity of these relational patterns. This multidimensional approach can inform therapeutic interventions and enhance our understanding of human social behavior within an evolutionary framework. Central to any operational definition of codependence is a recognition of the relational dynamics that underlie dysfunctional patterns of interaction. This includes an emphasis on boundaries, autonomy, and self-differentiation as essential factors in healthy relational functioning. Additionally, an operational definition should account for the contextual factors that shape individuals' experiences of dependency and enable therapists to differentiate between adaptive strategies and maladaptive patterns of relating. Furthermore, an operational definition of codependence should be dynamic and contextually sensitive, acknowledging the fluid nature of interpersonal dynamics and the influence of cultural, familial, and social factors on relational patterns. By adopting a nuanced understanding of codependence that accounts for the complexity of human experience, therapists can tailor interventions to meet the unique needs of each client, fostering greater insight and facilitating meaningful change. The concept of codependence, while pervasive in psychotherapeutic discourse, suffers from inherent ambiguities and definitional challenges that limit its usefulness in clinical practice. By elucidating its core elements and proposing strategies for operational definition, therapists can enhance the pragmatic value of codependence as a conceptual tool for understanding and addressing dysfunctional relational patterns. Moving forward, it is essential for clinicians to embrace a multidimensional understanding of codependence that integrates insights from diverse theoretical perspectives and honors the complexity of human relationships. Only through such a holistic approach can we effectively support clients in navigating the complexities of interpersonal dynamics and fostering healthier, more authentic connections. In revisiting the relationship of Sarah and James, it becomes evident that their dynamic, while exhibiting elements that could be construed as codependent, also embodies profound strengths rooted in genuine concern and compassion for each other. Their willingness to navigate challenges together and their capacity for emotional attunement represent pillars of resilience that can serve as a foundation for growth and transformation. Through psychotherapy, Sarah and James have the opportunity to deepen their understanding of themselves and each other, fostering healthier boundaries, communication skills, and emotional intimacy. By embracing a more nuanced understanding of codependence, one that acknowledges the complexities of human relationships and the potential for growth and healing, we pave the way for a future where relational dynamics are viewed not merely through the lens of pathology, but as fertile ground for the cultivation of empathy, connection, and shared humanity. As Sarah and James embark on their journey of self-discovery and relational exploration, they do so with hope, courage, and the unwavering belief in the transformative power of compassionate connection. Disclaimer: the scenario presented involving the relationship between Sarah and James is purely hypothetical and constructed for educational purposes. It is not based on any real individuals or their experiences. The depiction of their relationship dynamics is intended to illustrate broader concepts related to codependence and relational dynamics within psychotherapy. It is important to emphasize that the information provided in this context is not intended to offer legal, medical, or psychological advice or treatment to any individual or group. Readers are encouraged to recognize that every relationship is unique, and any similarities to their own experiences are coincidental. Should individuals require professional assistance with legal, medical, or psychological concerns, they are strongly advised to seek guidance from appropriately trained and licensed professionals who can provide personalized assessment and support. This hypothetical scenario is not a substitute for seeking individualized care from qualified practitioners. Readers are encouraged to exercise critical thinking and discernment when applying concepts discussed within this educational context to their own lives or professional practices. The goal of presenting hypothetical scenarios is to promote understanding and facilitate discussion within the realm of psychotherapy and relational dynamics.